Hello everyone, welcome back to Mason Zero ASMR. My name is Mason, and today we're going to continue going through my Magic the Gathering cube. We've gone through all 5 colors so far in the first 5 episodes, so if you haven't seen those, please go check them out. They're all on my channel and they should all be linked in the description below. So, quick run through. The cube is 540 cards. It is somewhat budget. And in the multicolored section here, we will really get an idea for what the themes are in each color pair. It's relatively multicolored themed to a certain extent. So I have quite a few multicolored cards in this cube. So we'll start with the Azorius. I'll pull them aside. We have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 cards in each color, I believe. Yeah, 7. And then we have 10 3-color cards as well. So we'll go through the blue-white cards first. So our first one is, I should also mention that there is a planeswalker for each color pair. I wanted to be fair, so I made sure I had one for each. So our first card is Narset Transcendent, 2, a white and a blue, for a 6 loyalty planeswalker Narset. +1, look at the top card of your library. If it's a non-creature, non-land card, you may reveal it and put it into your hand. -2, when you cast your next instant or sorcery spell from your hand this turn, it gains rebound. And -9, you get an emblem with your opponents can't cast non-creature spells. Azorius Charm. Also, I should say, all of the guild charms and all of the guild mages from the Return to Ravnica block are in here. Those are kind of between those two and the planeswalkers, those are kind of the constants across all 3. So Azorius Charm is a white and a blue for an instant. Choose 1. Creatures you control gain lifelink until end of turn, or draw a card, or put target attacking or blocking creature on top of its owner's library. New Prov Guildmage, a white and a blue for a 2/2 creature, human wizard. Pay a white and a blue, target creature gains flying until end of turn. 3 a white and a blue, detain target non-land permanent and opponent controls. Thunderclap Wyvern, 2 a white and a blue for a 2/3 Drake with flash and flying. Other creatures you control with flying get +1/+1. Dragonlord Ojutai, 3 a white and a blue for a 5/4 legendary creature, Elder Dragon, with flying. Dragonlord Ojutai has hexproof as long as it's untapped. Whenever Dragonlord Ojutai deals combat damage to a player, look at the top 3 cards of your library, put one of them into your hand, and the rest on the bottom of your library in any order. Skymark Rock, 2 a white and a blue for a 3/3 creature bird with flying. Whenever Skymark Rock attacks, you may return target creature defending player controls with toughness 2 or less to its owner's hand. And we have Reflector Mage, 1 a white and a blue for a 2/3 human wizard. When Reflector Mage enters the battlefield, return target creature and opponent controls to its owner's hand. That creature's owner can't cast spells with the same name as that creature until your next turn. This is one of my favorite foils. It's very cool. have the blue-black cards. Our Planeswalker is Tezzeret the Schemer from Ether Revolt. 2, a blue and a black for a 5 loyalty Planeswalker, Tezzeret. +1, create a colorless artifact token named Ethereum Cell with tap, sacrifice this artifact, add 1 mana of any color to your mana pool. -2, target creature gets +X/-X until end of turn, where X is the number of artifacts you control. -7, you get an emblem with, at the beginning of combat on your turn, target artifact you control becomes an artifact creature with base power and toughness 5/5. Dimir Charm, a blue and a black for an instant. Choose 1, counter target sorcery spell, or destroy target creature with power 2 or less. Or look at the top 3 cards of target player's library, then put 1 back and the rest into that player's graveyard. Duskmantle Guildmage, a blue and a black for a 2/2 creature, human wizard. 1 a blue and a black. Whenever a card is put into an opponent's graveyard from anywhere this turn, that player loses 1 life. 2 a blue and a black. Target player puts the top 2 cards of his or her library into his or her graveyard. Agony Warp, a blue and a black for an instant. Target creature gets -3/-0 until end of turn. Target creature gets -0/-3 until end of turn. Sire of Stagnation, 4 a blue and a black for a 5/7 creature Eldrazi with Devoid. Whenever a land enters the battlefield under an opponent's control, that player exiles the top 2 cards of his or her library and you draw 2 cards. Consign to Oblivion. Consign is 1 and a blue for an instant. Return target non-land permanent to its owner's hand. Oblivion is a sorcery for 4 and a black with Aftermath. Target opponent discards 2 cards. And we have Baleful Strix, a blue and a black for a 1/1 artifact creature bird with flying and death touch. When Baleful Strix enters the battlefield, draw a card. Now on to our black-red cards. Our Planeswalker is Daretti, Ingenious Iconoclast. 1 a black and a red for a 3 loyalty Planeswalker Daretti. +1, put a 1/1 colorless construct artifact creature token with Defender onto the battlefield. -1, you may sacrifice an artifact. If you do, destroy target artifact or creature. -6, choose target artifact card in a graveyard or artifact on the battlefield. Put 3 tokens that are copies of it onto the battlefield. Rakdos Charm, black and a red for an instant. Choose 1, exile all cards from target player's graveyard, or destroy target artifact, or each creature deals 1 damage to its controller. Rix Muddy Guildmage, a black and a red for a 2/2 creature, human shaman. Pay a black and a red. Target blocking creature gets -1/-1 until end of turn. Pay a black and a red. Target player who lost life this turn loses 1 life. Cathari Bomber, 1 a black and a red for a 2/2 creature bird shaman with flying. When Cathari Bomber deals combat damage to a player, create 2 1/1 red goblin creature tokens and sacrifice Cathari Bomber. and it has Unearth for 3, a black, and a red. Unlicensed Disintegration, 1, a black, and a red for an instant. Destroy target creature. If you control an artifact, Unlicensed Disintegration deals 3 damage to that creature's controller. Boltwing Marauder, 3, a black, and a red for a 5/4 creature dragon with flying. Whenever another creature enters the battlefield under your control, target creature gets +2/+0 until end of turn. And we have Pain and Suffering. Pain is 1 black for a sorcery. Target player discards a card from his or her hand. And Suffering is 3 and a red for a sorcery. Destroy target land. Alright, red-green. Our Planeswalker is Domri Raid. 1, a red, and a green for a 3 loyalty Planeswalker, Domri. +1, look at the top card of your library. If it's a creature card, you may reveal it and put it into your hand. -2, target creature you control fights another target creature. -7, you get an emblem with creatures you control have Double Strike, Trample, Hexproof, and Haste. Gruul Charm, a red and a green for an instant. Choose 1. Creatures without flying can't block this turn, or gain control of all permanents you own, or Gruul Charm deals 3 damage to each creature with flying. Skarg Guildmage, a red and a green for a 2/2 creature, human shaman. Pay a red and a green, creatures you control gain trample until end of turn. 1, a red and a green, target land you control becomes a 4/4 elemental creature until end of turn. It's still a land. Bloodbraid Elf, 2, a red and a green for a 3/2 creature, Elf Berserker, with haste and cascade. Ulrich of the Krallen Horde, 3, a red and a green for a 4/4 legendary creature, human werewolf. Whenever this creature enters the battlefield or transforms into Ulrich of the Krallen Horde, target creature gets +4/+4 until end of turn. At the beginning of each upkeep, if no spells were cast last turn, transform Ulrich of the Krallen Horde. And he transforms into Ulrich Uncontested Alpha, legendary creature, werewolf, 6/6. Whenever this creature transforms into Ulrich Uncontested Alpha, you may have it fight target non-werewolf creature you don't control. At the beginning of each upkeep, if a player casts 2 or more spells last turn, transform Ulrich Uncontested Alpha. Next we have Guttural Response, a hybrid red and green for an instant. Counter target blue instant spell. Savage Ventmaw, 4, a red and a green for a 4/4 creature dragon with flying. Whenever Savage Ventmaw attacks, add red, 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 green, green, green to your mana pool. Until end of turn, this mana doesn't empty from your mana pool as steps and phases end. Now we have our last ally color pair in green-white. Ajani Unyielding is our Planeswalker. 4, a green and a white for a 4 loyalty. Planeswalker Ajani. +2, reveal the top 3 cards of your library. Put all non-land permanent cards revealed this way into your hand and the rest on the bottom of your library in any order. -2, exile target creature. Its controller gains life equal to its power. -9, Put 5 +1/+1 counters on each creature you control, and 5 loyalty counters on each other planeswalker you control. Selesnya Charm, green and a white for an instant. Choose one. Target creature gets +2/+2 and gains trample until end of turn, or exile target creature with power 5 or greater, or put a 2/2 white knight creature token with vigilance onto the battlefield. Vitu-Ghazi Guildmage, a green and a white for a 2/2 creature, Dryad Shaman. Pay 4 a green and a white, put a 3/3 green centaur creature token onto the battlefield. Pay 2 a green and a white, and populate. Prepare to Fight. Prepare is a 1 and a white for an instant. Untap target creature, it gets +2/+2 and gains lifelink until end of turn. Fight is 3 and a green for a sorcery with Aftermath. Target creature you control fights target creature an opponent controls. Dramoka's Command, a green and a white for an instant. Choose 2. Prevent all damage target instant or sorcery spell would deal this turn, or target player sacrifices an enchantment, or put a +1/+1 counter on target creature, or target creature you control fights target creature you don't control. Loxodon Smiter, 1 a green and a white for a 4/4 creature elephant soldier. Loxodon Smiter can't be countered. If a spell or ability an opponent controls causes you to discard Loxodon Smiter, put it onto the battlefield instead of putting it into your graveyard. Armada Worm, 2 green and 2 white for a 5/5 creature worm with trample. When Armada Worm enters the battlefield, put a 5/5 green worm creature token with trample onto the battlefield. Alright, our first enemy color pair is black-white. Our first planeswalker is Sorin, Solemn Visitor, 2 a white and a black for a 4 loyalty planeswalker Sorin. +1 until your next turn. Creatures you control get +1/+0 and gain lifelink. -2, put a 2/2 black vampire creature token with flying onto the battlefield. -6, you get an emblem with, at the beginning of each opponent's upkeep, that player sacrifices a creature. Orzhov Charm, a white and a black for an instant. Choose 1. Return target creature you control and all auras you control attached to it to their owner's hand, or destroy target creature and you lose life equal to its toughness, or return target creature card with converted mana cost 1 or less from your graveyard to the battlefield. Vizkopa Guildmage, a white and a black for a 2/2 human wizard. Pay 1 a white and a black. Target creature gains lifelink until end of turn. Pay 1 a white and a black. Whenever you gain life this turn, each opponent loses that much life. Gerard's Verdict, a white and a black for a sorcery. Target player discards 2 cards from his or her hand. You gain 3 life for each land card discarded this way. Kambal, Consul of Allocation, 1 a white and a black for a 2/3 legendary creature, Human Advisor. Whenever an opponent casts a non-creature spell, that player loses 2 life and you gain 2 life. Underworld Coinsmith, a white and a black for a 2/2 enchantment creature, Human Cleric, with Constellation. Whenever Underworld Coinsmith or another enchantment enters the battlefield under your control, you gain 1 life. Pay a white and a black and pay 1 life. Each opponent loses 1 life. Chief of the Edge, a black and a white for a 3/2 creature, Human Warrior, other warrior creatures you control get +1/+0. Now we have black-green. And our planeswalker is Vraska the Unseen. 3, a black and a green for a 5 loyalty planeswalker Vraska. +1. Until your next turn, whenever a creature deals combat damage to Vraska the Unseen, destroy that creature. -3. Destroy target non-land permanent. -7. Put 3 1/1 black assassin creature tokens onto the battlefield with, whenever this creature deals combat damage to a player, that player loses the game. Golgari Charm. A black and a green for an instant. Choose one. All creatures get -1/-1 until end of turn, or destroy target enchantment, or regenerate each creature you control. Korozda Guildmage. A black and a green for a 2/2 creature elf shaman. 1 a black and a green. Target creature gets +1/+1 and gains intimidate until end of turn. 2 a black and a green. Sacrifice a non-token creature. Put X 1/1 green Saproling creature tokens onto the battlefield, where X is the sacrificed creature's toughness. Gerard Golgari Lichlord. 2 black and 2 green for a 2/2 legendary creature zombie elf. Gerard Golgari Lichlord gets +1/+1 for each creature card in your graveyard. 1 a black and a green. Sacrifice another creature. Each opponent loses life equal to the sacrificed creature's power. Sacrifice a swamp and a forest. Return Gerard from your graveyard to your hand. Dreg Mangler. 1 a black and a green for a 3/3 plant zombie with haste, and Scavenge for 3 a black and a green. Putrefy. 1 a black and a green for an instant. Destroy target artifact or creature. It can't be regenerated. Nath of the Gilt Leaf. 3 a black and a green for a 4/4 legendary creature elf warrior. At the beginning of your upkeep, you may have target opponent discard a card at random. Whenever an opponent discards a card, you may create a 1/1 green elf warrior creature token. Kiora, Master of the Depths. 2 a green and a blue for a 4 loyalty planeswalker Kiora. +1. Untap up to 1 target creature and up to 1 target land. -2. Reveal the top 4 cards of your library. You may put a creature card and or a land card from among them into your hand. Put the rest into your graveyard. -8. You get an emblem with, whenever a creature enters the battlefield under your control, you may have it fight target creature. Then put 3 8/8 blue octopus creature tokens onto the battlefield. Simic Charm. A green and a blue for an instant. Choose one. Target creature gets +3/+3 until end of turn, or permanents you control gain hexproof until end of turn, or return target creature to its owner's hand. Zamek Guildmage. A green and a blue for a 2/2 creature elf wizard. Pay a green and a blue. This turn, each creature you control enters the battlefield with an additional +1/+1 counter on it. A green and a blue, remove a +1/+1 counter from a creature you control. Draw a card. Sages of the Anima. 3 a green and a blue for a 3/4 creature elf wizard. If you would draw a card, instead reveal the top 3 cards of your library. Put all creature cards revealed this way into your hand, and the rest on the bottom of your library in any order. Bounty of the Luxa. 2, a green and a blue for an enchantment. At the beginning of your pre-combat main phase, remove all flood counters from Bounty of the Luxa. If no counters were removed this way, put a flood counter on Bounty of the Luxa and draw a card. Otherwise, add colorless green, blue to your mana pool. Rashmi, Eternity's Crafter. 2, a green and a blue for a 2/3 legendary creature, Elf Druid. Whenever you cast your first spell each turn, reveal the top card of your library. If it's a non-land card with converted mana cost less than that spell's, you may cast it without paying its mana cost. If you don't cast the revealed card, put it into your hand. Shapers of Nature. 1, a green and a blue for a 3/3 creature, Merfolk Shaman. 3 and a green, put a +1/+1 counter on target creature. 2 and a blue, remove a +1/+1 counter from a creature you control, draw a card. Now we have blue-red. Saheeli Rai. 1, a blue and a red for a 3 loyalty, Planeswalker Saheeli. +1, scry 1. Saheeli Rai deals 1 damage to each opponent. -2, create a token that's a copy of target artifact or creature you control, except it's an artifact in addition to its other types. That token gains haste. Exile it at the beginning of the next end step. -7, search your library for up to 3 artifact cards with different names, put them onto the battlefield, then shuffle your library. Is It Charm? A blue and a red for an instant. Choose 1. Counter target non-creature spell unless its controller pays 2. Is It Charm deals 2 damage to target creature, or draw 2 cards, then discard 2 cards. Nivix Guildmage. A blue and a red for a 2/2 creature, human wizard. Pay 1 a blue and a red, draw a card, then discard a card. Pay 2 a blue and a red. Copy target instant or sorcery spell you control. You may choose new targets for the copy. Joyra of the Gitu. 1, a blue and a red for a 2/2 legendary creature, human wizard. Pay 2 and exile a non-land card from your hand. Put 4 time counters on the exiled card. If it doesn't have suspend, it gains suspend. Ethereum Horn Sorcerer. 4, a blue and a red for a 3/6 artifact creature, Minotaur Wizard. Pay 1 a blue and a red. Return Ethereum Horn Sorcerer to its owner's hand. Cascade. Prophetic Bolt. 3, blue and a red for an instant. Prophetic Bolt deals 4 damage to target creature or player. Look at the top 4 cards of your library. Put one of those cards into your hand and the rest on the bottom of your library in any order. Teleportal. A blue and a red for sorcery. Target creature you control gets +1/+0 until end of turn and can't be blocked this turn. Overload for 3, a blue and a red. Our last color pair is red-white. Our Planeswalker is Ajani Vengeant. 2, a red and a white for a 3 loyalty Planeswalker Ajani. +1, target permanent doesn't untap during its controller's next untap step. -2, Ajani Vengeant deals 3 damage to target creature or player, and you gain 3 life. -7, destroy all lands target player controls. Boros Charm. A red and a white for an instant. Choose 1. Boros Charm deals 4 damage to target player, or permanents you control are indestructible this turn, or target creature gains double strike until end of turn. Sunhome Guildmage. A red and a white for a 2/2 creature, human wizard. 1, a red and a white. Creatures you control get +1/+0 until end of turn. 2 a red and a white. Create a 1/1 red and white soldier creature token with haste. Eros, God of Victory. 2 a red and a white for a 7/4 legendary enchantment creature, God. Indestructible. As long as your devotion to red and white is less than 7, Eros isn't a creature. Creatures you control have Menace. Prevent all damage that would be dealt to attacking creatures you control. War Leader's Helix. 2 a red and a white for an instant. War Leader's Helix deals 4 damage to target creature or player, and you gain 4 life. Figure of Destiny. 1 hybrid red-white for a 1/1 creature Kithkin. Pay a hybrid red-white. Figure of Destiny becomes a 2/2 Kithkin Spirit. Pay 3 hybrid red-white. If Figure of Destiny is a spirit, it becomes a 4/4 Kithkin Spirit Warrior. And 6 hybrid red-white. If Figure of Destiny is a warrior, it becomes an 8/8 Kithkin Spirit Warrior Avatar with flying and first strike. Honored Crop Captain. A red and a white for a 3/2 creature, human warrior. Whenever Honored Crop Captain attacks, other attacking creatures get +1/+0 until end of turn. Now we have our 10 3-colored cards. So our wedges. We have the Abzan Wedge with Siege Rhino. 1 a white, a black, and a green for a 4/5 creature Rhino with Trample. When Siege Rhino enters the battlefield, each opponent loses 3 life, and you gain 3 life. Our Sultai Wedge is Sultai Ascendancy, a black, a green, and a blue for an enchantment. At the beginning of your upkeep, look at the top 2 cards of your library. Put any number of them into your graveyard and put the rest back on top of your library in any order. Our Teamer Wedge has Surak Dragonclaw. 2 a green, a blue, and a red for a 6/6 legendary creature, human warrior with Flash. Surak Dragonclaw can't be countered. Creature spells you control can't be countered. Other creatures you control have Trample. Our Jeskai Wedge is Narset Enlightened Master. 3 a blue, a red, and a white for a 3/2 legendary creature, human monk with first strike and hexproof. Whenever Narset Enlightened Master attacks, exile the top 4 cards of your library. Until end of turn, you may cast non-creature cards exiled with Narset this turn without paying their mana costs. And for Mardu, we have Ankle Shanker. 2 a red, a white, and a black for a 2/2 creature Goblin Berserker with haste. Whenever Ankle Shanker attacks, creatures you control gain first strike and death touch until end of turn. Now we're into our shards. We start with Esper with Sphinx of the Steel Wind. 5 a white, a blue, and a black for a 6/6 artifact creature Sphinx with flying, first strike, vigilance, lifelink, and protection from red and from green. Tamiyo Field Researcher. 1 a green, a white, and a blue for a 4 loyalty Planeswalker Tamiyo. +1. Choose up to 2 target creatures. Until your next turn, whenever either of those creatures deals combat damage, you draw a card. -2. Tap up to 2 target non-land permanents. They don't untap during their controller's next untap step. -7. Draw 3 cards. You get an emblem with, you may cast non-land cards from your hand without paying their mana costs. Mael the Anima. A red, a green, and a white for a 2/3 legendary creature, Elf Shaman. Pay 3 a red, a green, and a white, and tap. Look at the top 5 cards of your library. You may put a creature card with power 5 or greater from among them onto the battlefield. Put the rest on the bottom of your library in any order. Broodmate Dragon. 3, a black, a red, and a green for a 4/4 creature and dragon with flying. When a Broodmate Dragon enters the battlefield, create a 4/4 red dragon creature token with flying. And then finally, our last card in Multicolored is Cruel Ultimatum. 2 blue, 3 black, and 2 red for a sorcery. Target opponent sacrifices a creature, discards 3 cards, then loses 5 life. You return a creature card from your graveyard to your hand, draw 3 cards, then gain 5 life. Alright, that's all the Multicolored cards for you guys. I hope you enjoyed this video. If you would like to keep up with changes to my cube, or would like to test draft it, there is a link in the description to the cube on cubetutor.com. So please check it out. Please let me know what you think of the Multicolored cards, and check out the 5 colors before this to make suggestions there if you feel like it, or just to check out the videos for fun. Coming up next will be artifacts, and then lands. And yeah, then it'll be done. So looking forward to getting those 2 videos out, and I hope you are looking forward to seeing the last of the cube. It's been fun going through it. I hope that you are nice and relaxed or entertained, and I can't wait to see you in the next video. Goodbye.